the 7 jewels of happiness can change your life. They will change your life. Hi, I'm Dr. Sue Franklin. I'm a Reiki master teacher and a psychologist. In the last video blog I did, I talked about desires and intentions, and more importantly, the why that is the undercurrent and the motivator for everything we do. Whether we're consciously aware of it or not, it's the thing that drives us. Today, I want to share about the 7 jewels of happiness and then give you a practice tip at the end. So happiness isn't an accident. It doesn't depend on what's happening around you, the conditions around you. Happiness is a result of practice. These practices help cultivate better feeling mood, thoughts, body, relationships, life. Everything is better when we're happy. So when you incorporate these 7 practices into your everyday life, you'll change everything. So these practices that I'll go over in a minute get you grounded. They get you present. They quiet your mind. They fill your heart. They shift your energy and focus. They get you tapped into your deeper self and tuned into life. They really aren't complicated, and they're actually quite simple. However, they're not necessarily easy. And they don't have to take that much time to practice them and to develop the skills in them, but you do need to practice. And as you do that, you just begin to incorporate them in every moment of your life. So, and I have to say the results are profound. So these are based on ancient practices, and now they're being supported by modern science. I'm going to talk about that in the next video I do. So studies are showing that these practices change the structure and the function of your brain. They improve your immune system. They reduce stress, anxiety, depression, and even pain, emotional and physical pain. They can positively affect the expression of your genes even, and improve your relationships. They help you find meaning and purpose in your life, in your work, and they just help you feel more connected to the universe. So it sounds fantastic, but it's actually real. Now, so my acronym for the 7 jewels is YES, SMILES. All right, what in the world is this? I'm just going to run over these quick. So, YES is really just about saying yes to life, saying yes to every moment, even the ones you don't like. So it's really about just acknowledging the reality of the moment. It is what it is, not as a sarcastic minimizer, but as an acknowledgement. Okay, this is what's happening now. It's raining. There's no resistance to it. Often you hear there's a difference between pain and suffering. Pain is part of being in a human body and a human life. Suffering is optional. Pain times resistance equals suffering. When we resist what's happening in the moment, we create enormous suffering within ourselves. Okay, so the smiles. What are these? First are the stories in our mind. Our brains evaluate every second, mostly out of our own awareness, right? It's an unconscious process that our brain does. It evaluates everything and it creates a narrative, a story about everything, an interpretation. We think there are facts, but it's really an interpretation. Here's an example. So let's say we got two people, they get up in the morning and it's raining, which is common here, right? And the first person is like, oh man, that sucks. Oh man, that's just gonna ruin today. I had plans. I've got to walk between meetings and now I have to worry about getting my suit messed up and I was planning to wear these cute shoes and dang it, expletive. That sucks. What a rotten day and a rotten way to start it. The other person looks out the window and says, oh, it's raining. I love the smell of the spring rain, and man, my grass is so green, and I love that all the tulips are coming up and the trees are blooming, and I'm excited about the freshness of the day. I just love that. So who's going to have the better day with those two stories? And they're completely stories because we're talking about rain, right? One person interprets it one way, one person interprets the other, and both of them create a whole cascade of brain chemicals that create emotions and a trajectory for the day. Okay, so those are the stories we work with. M is for mindfulness. So presence reveals freedom. Mindfulness practices change our brains. And when we are able to be present with whatever is going on, saying yes to it without resistance, we open some space for profound freedom. We're not blown around. Our well-being, our happiness is not dependent on what's going on around us. Whether we like it or don't like it, we can still be grounded and happy. Intuition is about tuning into that knowing in our gut, the feeling part that knows what's right for us. And you don't have to be, think of yourself as a psychic or anything. You're just tuning in to the truth for you, what's really true. And it's a quiet voice, and you can learn to strengthen that. Love. So when we can approach everything with yes, we can actually bring appreciation and compassion to our moment-to-moment experience. And as we do that with easier things, we build the muscle, and it's easier to do with people and more difficult things. And this is something we can look for. We can, like the person with the positive story about the rain. So we can look for the things that we do like about a situation. And it could be, I knew somebody who had a very minor car accident some months ago. And, that's something you could say, oh, it ruined my day and scratched my car and it was a hassle and, stupid drivers. And actually what she did, which I really respected, was, it wasn't that big a deal. Everything worked out. My car wasn't really messed up at all. And I met these two fascinating guys, and I learned some things about them and the kind of life that they live that I never would have known if I hadn't bumped into them. And it really was, you know, it was a non-issue in terms of the accident, and it was actually quite positive because I had this interaction with these guys. Okay, and that's a practice of yes, it's a practice of stories, it's a practice of mindfulness, and it's a practice of love. So you can see how these build on one another and interact. Okay, energy. So we're energetic beings. We're built, these are built from atoms. And atoms are just really little bits of energy flying around together. It's mostly space down there on the atomic level. And we can have huge effects on our own energy. Think about when you listen to music that feels good, when you talk to people that feel good, when you're in environments that feel good. So part of that, and when we're thinking, when we're having happy memories, right? That creates that whole chemical cascade in the body again, in the brain and the body, that creates positive emotion, feelings of well-being. And there are exercises that we can do to help with our energy, to kind of rebalance and clear our energy, and that's some of the work I do too through Reiki. And then so spirit. If you're inclined, you might think of this as God by any variety of names. You might think of spirit as just the universe or the divine, or kind of the cosmic energy, or your own mysterious part or soul. And connecting with this part of ourselves just makes us happier. It makes us feel better. It makes us enjoy life more, feel more connected, and have better everything. So, okay. So here's your practice, your homework for today. I want you to practice saying yes to everything. Try saying yes. Okay, it is what it is. Your boss comes in grouchy, yells at you. Okay, it is what it is, and I deal with what it is. Releasing the resistance against whatever your situation is. Usually it's an issue when we bump into the negative things, right? But practice saying yes simply as an acknowledgement of the reality of this moment, and which includes the reality of how you feel about it. So your boss comes in, yells at you, you're like, okay, it is what it is, and I feel all these things in response to it, in reaction to it. Okay, there's your practice. Now, here's a little view of the 7 jewels of happiness, the practices of happiness. I'm going to go into much more detail and experience with these at my upcoming Reiki training weekend, and that's June 8, 9, and 10. So to learn more, go to my website at www.susanfranklinpsyd.com. Click on the Reiki retreat tab, and you can get more information, and the registration link is there. I've got some great early bird rates and gifts that are available until May 15th. Okay, next time I'm going to talk about some of the science that supports energy healing techniques. So I'll look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for watching. I'm Dr. Sue Franklin. Be well.